Hi, I'm Michael Sinoff, founder and CEO of HardToFindSeminars.com. For the last 5 years, I've interviewed the world's best business and marketing minds. Now my challenge is to build the world's largest free resource for online, downloadable audio business interviews. I've learned a lot in the last 5 years, and today I'm going to show you the skills you need to survive.
I would say this to any HMA consultant in the marketing field. You have the information. You have far more information than your clients have, and you can help these people, and they desperately need your help. It's hard to get started, but it does work, and it can work really well for you, and it can be a great service for your clients.
Hi, this is Michael Sinoff, and to all the HMA consultants, here's an incredible interview I did with a gentleman named Barry Maher. Barry first made his mark as a world-class salesperson, then as a manager and sales consultant, helping improve clients' productivity, often dramatically. Selling Power magazine declared Barry to his powerful and famous clients, Barry Maher is simply the best sales trainer in the business. His clients' lists range from ABC, Capital Cities, and the American Management Association to Fujifilm and the National Lottery of Ireland to Verizon's, not to mention Ameritech, Bell South, and SBC. He's been featured in USA Today, the New York Times, Business Week, Success, the Wall Street Journal. Barry Maher is a sales pro who will show you how to turn your negatives into positive selling points and even bragging points using entertaining, enlightening, and even humorous examples and case studies. This is a two-part recording. Enjoy.
Can I help you?
Hey, Barry, Mike Sinoff here.
Hi, Mike.
How did you first get started in business?
Actually, I first started out in business, had my own advertising specialties company. It was just like a one-man shop. And basically what I did was I went around selling advertising specialties to anybody I could talk into buying them.
Were you entrepreneurial in nature?
It was my own business. We built up a business for myself and my partner. We ended up covering the entire state of California. Then we spread out to other states, and I made the mistake of selling the business. And from then, I went into the Yellow Pages and became a Yellow Page consultant and a management consultant and a marketing consultant, because that was my background.
You've got a consulting practice right now, right? Mm-hmm. How long have you been consulting for?
Since 1986.
Can we talk about your process of how you generate clients?
Sure.
How do you generate clients for consulting? Are you still out there marketing yourself?
Absolutely. Much of what I do now is in the speaking business, so I do seminars and workshops, which means I'm hired by corporations and associations to come in. And we do everything we can to get my name out there as much as possible. I mean, I've got these books, No Lie, Filling the Glass, Legend, the book on Yellow Page advertising, the marketing yearbook. We've got those out there. We generate articles from those books, and I've got an assistant that sends these out and gets them placed all in various publications all over the place, gets them placed all over the Internet. We get my name out there as much as possible. We do as many interviews of all types like this one as possible on radio, little TV. It's harder to get. You got to be there. That's part of the problem. Whatever we can do to get my name out there. But we're talking about speaking engagements. My assistant is also making a certain amount of cold calls every single day. When he's got spare time, he's on the phone generating those calls.
You charge for these speaking engagements, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you charge for these?
Speakers make very good livings. I make more money from the speaking than I make from writing.
How about comparing consulting and speaking?
Well, they're part and parcel of the same thing. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's a speaking engagement or a consultation because it might be the same thing. If I'm going in there and I'm doing an extended sales or marketing training, I might be in the company for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, several weeks. It's really hard to say whether that's a consultation or a speech, or I might be in there and do a 1-hour keynote and also do a follow-up consultation.
You could charge for the speaking engagements, and those speaking engagements, it's a product in itself, but it's also a lead generator for your consulting practice.
It's a product for itself. Sometimes the consultations are a lead generator for the speaking engagements. They work hand in hand.
So give me an example of how you landed a good consulting contract from a speaking engagement.
Well, I have a client who I've worked with a number of times over the years, and they called me up at one point. They saw an article that I'd written in a publication probably in the late 90s. I'd probably written this article in the late 80s. But people clip these things, they hang on to them. And this guy tracked me down, because in those days it wasn't as easy to find people as it is now with the Internet, and called me up and said, could you come in and do a seminar on advertising for my advertisers? And that seminar led to extended consulting. I've been consulting with him ever since, off and on. I'm on retainer with him right now.
If you have someone interested in your consulting service, say, Barry, I want you as my consultant. Can you take us through how you structure the deal, how you charge for your services, fee versus retainer or contingency? Do you do any contingency as well?
No, I don't do contingency. In fact, I never did do contingency.
Is there a reason why?
I don't need to. I can charge and I can get my fees, and we've never found a need for that. Now, if what I did didn't work, we couldn't do it for very long. Mm-hmm. But I have the expertise, being an author, on whatever subject they call me in. They've usually found out that I have this expertise to begin with. They've seen me in USA Today or the New York Times or something like that. Or if we've done the cold call, we've made sure that they found out about the fact that I was in USA Today or the New York Times or whatever it is to establish the expertise. So I can usually get my fee. I'm not ashamed of my fees, and I don't mealy-mouth around them. People ask me if I'm expensive. Absolutely. And why do I charge so much? Because I can.
Can I ask you what you charge for a good-sized client?
It depends on the situation. These are all negotiated. I mean, I have set rate for fees, but it depends on the situation. And the first thing I do is I find out what their needs are. I don't go in there with a prepackaged set of programs that I try to foist upon them. I go in there, and again, just like filling the Yellow Page ad, I do a fact-finding. Because they don't know very often what they want. They know there's an issue. Or maybe they didn't even know there was an issue. Maybe Steve called them up, and they said, my marketing isn't what it could be, or my management strategies maybe aren't what they could be. Maybe this guy can tell us something. So we have to tell them how they can buy my services. And the only way we can do that is finding out about them and how we might be able to help them. So they might have called about one thing, or we might have called them about one thing. And I might end up doing something else entirely different. I might end up doing a series of trainings.
I want to bring this up. Picture in front of you, you've got 5 somewhat new salespeople selling marketing consulting services. And obviously, because they're new, their confidence level isn't where yours is at. And I tell people, many times when you're quoting a fee, the way these guys do it is they charge a per project basis. There's 7 projects. They close on the first one, developing a USP for the client before anything, and they charge anywhere between X and X per project. But the confidence level, what would you say to these guys related to confidence and consistent with what they charge? Because many times their confidence may be so low, they may only charge $250 a project or $1,000 a project, where if their confidence was higher, they could charge $3,000 or $4,000. What would you tell them if they were sitting in front of you?
Well, number one, there's a couple of ways. How do you get confidence? Let me ask you that.
Experience.
Bingo. How do you get experience? You
Doing
do it, or you study it, or you learn it. If I'm going out there and I'm selling my service to somebody, it's not fake it till you make it. You've got to do the research. You've got to actually become the expert that you're talking about. Once you become the expert, which is not hard to do, because if you're dealing with small businessmen, most of them don't have a clue about marketing. You don't have to know much to know a whole lot more than they do. You don't have to know much to be able to help them. When I first started out selling advertising specialties, I knew very, very little about advertising. I mean, I had a couple courses here and there. But I knew an infinite amount more than they did, and I helped them in the areas where I knew I could help them. And then as I gained more expertise, I moved into those other areas. Now, one of the things that people have a hard time realizing is that it's easier to sell at a higher fee very often than it is when you start cutting price. You don't want people buying just on your fee. I mean, who do you want? Do you want a marketing consultant that has to charge $250 to do a project, or a marketing consultant that's going to charge you $2,500 to do the same project? All things being equal, how good can that marketing consultant who's charging $250 be?
Hi, it's Michael Senoff with HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching this video. Many of my interviews last 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour, sometimes even up to 2.5 hours long. They're actual mini seminars, and you've just listened to a short sample of just one of over 117 hours of exciting, hard-hitting, mind-blowing interviews on how to make money in direct mail, advertising, copywriting. I assure you, there is not a resource anywhere on the internet or on the planet that comes close to the free information I provide at HardToFindSeminars.com. So go right now to HardToFindSeminars.com, and you'll have free access to 117 hours of audio interviews with typed word-for-word downloadable transcripts and downloadable MP3 files. Please browse some more of the videos or go right directly to HardToFindSeminars.com. Thanks for watching.